Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and this time, is a Marvel Legends. Review number 3 of the day. We have the Retro Spider-Man wave. It's supposed to be wave 1 of 2024. I'm going to call it wave 2 of 2023 because I've got it now in my hands here in 2023. So for those of you guys that are going to ask, everyone's going to comment, where'd you get it? How'd you get it? Why so soon? I thought these were coming out next year. Pay attention. Please. I got this. Mine did not come from any store here in the US. It did not come from anywhere in Canada. This actually came from Hong Kong. So Figure Grail USA, link in the video description below to their Instagram page. He is able to get Hasbro products from time to time overseas. His website, if you go to figuregrail.com, his website is mainly like import figures, figure arts, Mayfex, things like that. His website, you'll find the import figures. Hasbro stuff, from time to time, he will get those. If he has any available, he will have them posted to his Instagram story. So please make sure you give him a follow. Again, the link to his Instagram is in the video description below. So make sure to check him out and give him a follow. He's not always going to have Hasbro product. He may not even always have like a bunch of the Hasbro product. But I was able to secure the whole Spider-Man wave through him, and he sent it out, and it got here really quickly. So Figure Grail, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. So let's get into the review. We have the Scarlet Spider. There was the big old mess with, is there another one coming? And then poor Payson got caught in the middle of some stuff. But anyway, here we have it. A new Scarlet Spider, an updated one on the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man body. He is fully pinless. He's got the toe articulation, everything that you could want. So I'm extremely happy. He looks beautiful on card, but I'm going to rip that sumbitch open because I opened figures. I will get a second one, though, to hang on the wall, of course, because it's got the throwback Spider-Man animated series card. A couple of figures in this wave have that newer style card. I won't double up on those. I will double up on these animated series throwback ones. So, Scarlet Spider, we got some hands. We got the artwork on here looking really cool. The call out just says Spider Clone over there. Looking at the back of the package, you can see you just swap out hands or whatever. The bio reads, Peter Parker's clone and eventual ally Ben Reilly returns to New York to defend the city as the web-slinging Scarlet Spider. Oh, so excited. We got a bunch of Ben Reilly figures. So actually some recent ones. We had, the kind of both on the same body. This one actually has the same body fully because it's got the articulated toes and everything like that. But we also had this one, but this one wasn't quite the newest one as it does still have pins. So we got a few Ben Reileys lately. I will do a comparison, of course, with the previous Marvel Legends versions that we had. We had the vintage Wave 2 right here that came with the unmasked Ben Reilly head. I will see if it fits. And then we have this one here, which came in the Rhino Build-A-Figure wave way back when. This new one is going to blow all of these out of the water. They just don't, there's no comparison whatsoever, of course. But I'm going to rip it open and let's check them out. Oh, what a thing of beauty the Scarlet Spider figure is. It really, really is. Oh, it just looks so awesome. Getting into some poses is going to be really nice. I am not the greatest at some of that. I will try at my hand at some of it a little bit later on in this video. What I first want to do is kind of do the overall view for you guys to see and check out the figure. So I have it in one little pose here. I do have him on the Hasbro Pulse flight stand there, and he's looking pretty awesome. I've already switched out one of the hands. All the articulation is there and works for the most part. The hoodie, I will say, is not as pliable as I would have initially hoped. Jada Toys rubber, like they use rubber over, their overlays like the gi for Ken and Ryu. Super soft and pliable, like very rubbery. Hasbro tends to do, thicker stuff. So here it's a little bit thicker. Is it going to hinder a little bit? Yeah, unfortunately, I think it is. But I think that with the inverted ab crunch, it really is going to lend itself enough to get it to move, to get some movement in the ab. The tilt on there is going to be there a little bit. And I think that was kind of one of the bigger flaws with the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man is, that diaphragm cut, we can get a swivel in there, but can we get a lot of the tilt or backwards or forwards motion? And not as much, and it's going to be the kind of the same thing here. So is it really the hoodie that's hindering that, or is it just kind of the limitations of that torso? We'll kind of have to see there. But just an awesome looking figure. As far as the accessories, he comes with all of the hands that we could want, minus some grip hands, but we do have wall crawling hands here that he comes with. Out of the package, he has 2 fists. I've already swapped one out, so we do get 2 thwip hands. So we got a right hand thwip and a left thwip and 2 fists. I think I mixed up fist and thwip there. But there we have it, and there's the Scarlet Spider. So now let's go ahead and take a closer look at that head sculpt. That head sculpt is really nice because we haven't got you know, a figure with these shape of eyes for Scarlet Spider yet. So that is definitely new here, and that is pretty cool. And they did something to allow for a little bit more articulation in that neck. I don't know if I like it though. I'll show you guys that here in a second. Okay, so here we have the closer look at the Scarlet Spider. So you can see here we got the hoodie ties. Those are done with a white pull string. This hood portion is kind of it's kind of a separate piece. I guess it's glued onto this back, so it's not like something you can just remove, but it's kind of nice that they have it separated out a little bit. Makes it look a little bit more realistic. We get the spider logo there, kind of off kilter, not quite centered, and then you got some nice wrinkles in the hoodie there. The hoodie doesn't come down all the way to his waist, which will allow for some of that movement, but again, this is a fairly thick rubber in here. I would have liked a softer rubber, but it is tight on there. So you can still get, like, you could still get the tilt in there, as you can see. And then coming forward though, like, it's hard, like, on what's not, well, you could still get it to move back a little bit. That's back without using the ab. And then forward, like so, you can still do it. And then when you use the ab in there in conjunction. So if anything, it might hinder the ab ever so slightly. So it doesn't get a whole lot of bend, but it doesn't hinder it too much. So there we go. We've got the tattered kind of look there on the shoulders, and then at the bottom there, we get this new belt for the Scarlet Spider there. We get these new wrist cuffs, the web cartridges. They are not the same as the previous versions that we had gotten before. As you can see, that is different there. And even with the vintage one, we had a different version there that were much smaller also. So not the same. Oh, and then the Ben Reilly Spider-Man figure, you know, again, they're different ones here. So these are new, which is nice. Just all red throughout, so not a whole lot of paint. So a little bit of paint, you know, on the belt there. The white for the eyes, which came out looking really good. I love the shape of them. And then here we get these pouches down at the ankle, and the buckles are painted, and the little button gets painted as well, which is nice. The other ones, the previous Scarlet Spider figures had done that as well, so no difference here. And then again, we get those toe articulation feet. So there we go. Not a whole lot for the details, but again, that head sculpt, those eyes are done really nice. Now, one thing I had mentioned, you know, the articulation that they're going to have in the neck. It was always difficult for Spider-Man to really be able to look up. You know, they put the little cut in the back of the neck to allow that neck hinge, or the ball joint, to be able to move back. But the way this head sculpt is done, you can get him to look up, and it's fine straightforward. But when you look to the side, you just see a crazy gap in there. But again, like, it's good if you're, you know, wall crawling and he's looking up, he can actually, you know, look up a bit. So, which is good, because you know, the other ones really couldn't do that. But the trade-off is going to be that gap in there, you know, which is just really weird looking. But it allows for some crazy movement in that head as well. Like, you can just move it around all kinds of good ways and stuff. So there we go there. So not a whole lot else for it because it's all red, but does look really, really nice there. So now let's go ahead and take out a look at the full articulation. Okay, so Scarlet Spider, you saw how much I can move the head, so you can get him to look up that much. You can get him to look down all the way, which is quite nice. Full rotation in that head, of course, and then you can do all kinds of pivot and things going on there. Shoulder, you can get the arm to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. You got the butterfly joint. The hoodie is going to stop the butterfly a little bit, and it feels like we do get better range of butterfly in here. So lately with Hasbro butterfly joints, they want to not go back real far. Well, no, I mean, I guess even on this Ben Reilly, that was fairly recent, we were able to get that to go back pretty far. So I guess that's not too bad there. And then coming forward, I think is where we're gonna lose some of that butterfly movement coming forward, because the hoodie is really just going to get in the way. So we are not, unfortunately, going to be able to, you know, maximize our crossbody going on there with that butterfly joint. Upper bicep swivel in there, double jointed pinless elbow. You get that much bend there, which is nice. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on all the hands, the wall crawling, the fists, and the thwips. We do have the diaphragm cut in there, so you can still get him to tilt. So that is tilting to the left. You can do tilting to the right there. The hoodie does not hinder that at all. Now going back, I can still get him to lean back without using the inverted ab, even though it's a little bit tricky not to get it to use it. Coming forward is a little bit there. the inverted ab, you can get him to crunch forward that much total. You get him to go back that much there, which is good. You get the swivel at that diaphragm in there. You could take the hoodie off if you want. It's cut there, but that's where it's glued together. So it's not something where you're just going to pop it on and off. Yeah, it's not something where you're just going to take it on and off if you want. But it's pre-cut in there if you want to do that kind of thing. I mean, it's not something that I'm going to do. So if you wanted to remove it, you could. It's just going to be a red body, you know, all the way through. But maybe if you cut it, that'll allow for some additional movement. Not something I'm going to try again. That'd be try at your own risk there. We have the drop-down hips on this guy, so we could drop down those hips. You could do the splits, essentially. Let me see. Well, you can do the legs that far apart. He can kick forward very, very high, which is great. The leg goes back. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee, like so. You get a calf swivel as well. Foot hinges all the way down. You get some hinge up. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And we got the toe articulation. So all the points of articulation we want. Not every figure gets these. It's just like Spider-Man figures and, you know, Deadpool figure. But all of the points of articulation that we want. The hoodie hinders the butterfly moving forward. The rest of it is really not going to be too bad. So like if you get him crunched all the way, you can get him to crunch down quite a bit, which is really good. Like Amazing Fantasy does pretty well with this. But I don't even remember like this one being able to do that as much. Well, I guess it could. That was probably the most recent. Well, it seems like it could actually get almost a little bit more. But still really good range of motion here on the Scarlet Spider. But now let's go ahead and see some comparisons. And of course, the previous Ben Reilly Spider-Man figures that we had gotten, as you could see, you know, the hoodie was part of the sculpted torso. It was not an overlay or anything like that. And they were pretty good for the time. You know, the base body is the Spider-Man, the Pizza Spider-Man body. Over time, it's not been that great of a body. The torso was kind of bad. The legs are really bad because they get gummy and whatnot. You don't have a calf swivel or anything like that. But this new body does, so we don't have to really worry about that. The pins were never an issue on these because the pins match the color of the legs perfectly, so there was no issues there. But man, this new one is just better. It's, you know, a little bit bulkier. We get the overlay on the hoodie, which makes it a little bit more realistic because, you know, he wears an overlay there. So we kind of work out. What I will check to see is if this this Ben Reilly head sculpt, you remember he's cloning Peter Parker, so he looks the exact same. He's just got blonde hair. Let's see if this head sculpt will actually pop onto this new Scarlet Spider. I thought I saw a comment somewhere that says it cannot, but we shall see right here, right now, if that's going to be the case. And if it is, it's going to be tight. But no, look at that. It's a perfect fit. There we have it. Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider. The head fits on there just fine. So I know people really wanted to get this vintage Wave 2 Scarlet Spider, you know, because they didn't think to get it at the time that it released, or new collectors, sure, you know, whatever the case may be. I don't remember it being a super difficult figure to get at the time that it released, but this is one that I know a lot of people slept on, they skipped out on. And that's too bad because this is the only Ben Reilly head sculpt that we have, and it fits perfectly on here. So, gotta love it when those things work out. You know, I think Hasbro really likes Ben Reilly. So we look at the Spider-Man Retro Wave. The previous Spider-Man Retro Wave had two Ben Reillys in it. We had the Spider-Man version of Ben Reilly, and we also had the Chasm version of Ben Reilly. And now this wave, we have Ben Reilly. And come to think about it, the Spider-Man wave before the last one, I think was the one that this one was in, right? And there we had the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Lots of Ben Reillys lately. That's kind of interesting, right? It may not be interesting. You guys may not care. But I think it's a little bit interesting. Kind of. Sort of. I mean, we need Spider-Man figures in there, and you can only have Peter Parker so often, I guess. But anyway, lots of Ben Reillys. These ones share the same exact body. This one, the body is the same, but we get the, these ones have gone pinless, and then we got the toe articulation. At the time that this released, we did not have those things, but now we do. So there we go. And here, the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man with the Ben Reilly Spider-Man. You can see they're the same body, so of course they're going to be basically the same. Head shape and size is going to be a little bit different. I like the Scarlet Spider one quite a bit more, but this one's still going to be my favorite figure because it's the classic red and blue Peter Parker Spider-Man that we love. And of course, the ultimate side-by-side comparison is going to be the Marvel Legends Scarlet Spider and the Mafex Scarlet Spider. One of these figures is $25. The other figure is like $75 to $100 or more, depending on where you get it, how you get it, shipping, and all of that. I like the $25 one. The Mafex is a superior figure, but it's also 3 times at minimum the price. So which one, with your money, with your hard-earned dollars, would you spend money on? I say get the $25 one. The Mafex figure is really good. Really, really good. I don't want to take away anything from it because it's really, really nice. But it's an expensive one and has a bunch of articulation and everything like that, and it should because it's super expensive. As you can see, size-wise, Mafex import figures run a little bit smaller. They tend to be a true, quote-unquote, true 1/12 scale action figure. So Marvel Legends are a 6-inch scale. Whether that really means 1/12 or not, I don't really know. But there we have the two. Now, the Mafex one does have the soft goods hoodie, which is really nice because it absolutely does not hinder articulation or anything like that. And this thing can move around all crazy, you know, that this guy is not really going to be able to do, and all of that. But again, depending on how much money you are willing to spend is going to make the big difference. Now, if you have a lot of Mafex figures, the Scarlet Spider Mafex will be, you know, kind of easily be the one to get, the one to add to your collection because it's going to fit in. If you're looking at scale and whatnot, the Legends one's definitely the way to go. In terms of value, the Marvel Legends is going to win because, again, $25 versus a lot more. Now, the Mafex does come with other accessories. It has like web accessories. It's got hands. It's got a bunch of different accessories and all that stuff too. So it has a lot more. So yes, but again, 3 times the cost. What is really going to make sense? You guys let me know what you guys think of that down in the comments below. But there we go, the side by side. Now, can the Mafex and the Marvel Legends get into the same poses, or can you do the same things? I'm going to test some things out. Again, I'm not the greatest at poses. Usually what I do is I look up images online and I try to recreate that pose. So I'm going to try to do that for both of these, and we'll see, you know, which one can do what. You know, I think the Mafex is going to win in that department, as it should, in my opinion. But I think the Marvel Legends is going to be able to hold its own. So let's do it. So granted, I didn't get the right hands for Mafex to properly do some of these comparisons, but I saw an image of Scarlet Spider, so I tried to recreate this, you know, where he's reaching down to the ground. I think the Marvel Legends actually looks pretty good. I think the Mafex one actually ends up looking a little bit weird. Now, full disclosure, disclaimer, again, I'm not the greatest at posing figures. Some folks are really good. Some folks are like ridiculously good, like Agent Gomez. If you guys follow him on Instagram, he can like just bust out a pose like it's nothing and it's like crazy. Or, you know, Art with Toys, his photography and the way he poses and the attention to detail and where to put an arm and certain body parts and things. Some of these guys are extremely talented that I don't have. I ain't got it. Like I don't practice enough because I know, you know, maybe one day I could get there if I put in the work, right? Because that's what it takes. You got to put in the work. But some of these guys make it look so much easier than it really is. But in my opinion, I think the Marvel Legends actually looks a little bit better in this sense. But maybe it's just because of my posing. I'm not sure. But like I can't really get him to look. Oh, maybe I just didn't move the neck around enough. Oh, yeah. That makes a big difference. I didn't move the neck enough. He can definitely look a little bit out, a little bit straighter. So it kind of looks there. But, you know, the skinny proportions of the legs look a little bit weird to me now. But, you know, each one still has its pluses and minuses. Okay, so here's another one that I don't think I really did too well. To get him down, the butterflies are really hurting this Marvel Legends version, and then from there, as much as you can get him to kind of look up and out, you can't quite do enough here, so that kind of loses it. Mafex, people could do better, you know, depending on the hands and things, but he can at least look out. Okay, so this will be the last one because it's just proving to be a little bit more difficult for me as it is, you know, me trying to get into certain poses. So, you know, certain Spider-Man poses and things like that, you're going to be able to get them in for the most part. One thing that definitely helps is if you can get the hoodie over the belt a little bit. So when moving around, what you want to do is you kind of want to pinch it on either end to make sure that it kind of goes over the belt, and it allows for a little bit more motion in there, and you know, to crunch down a little bit more. The hoodie, the overlay, it really ruins the butterfly joint coming forward. So that definitely sucks. That's a huge thing that it really gets in the way of. For me, I'm okay with it, but it definitely, you know, hinders some really good posing that you could do with the Spider-Man figure. I'm kind of messing with the Mafex, and you know, for a beginner like me, it's a little bit more difficult to get him into certain poses and things like that. You know, it's going to be able to, but you just have to put in a little bit more work into it. And I only have so much time to kind of do the review. The Mafex figure, again, is really good, but it's also 3 times the price. For me, the $25 Marvel Legends figure is going to win it, but you know, that's going to be if you're primarily a Marvel Legends collector. The Mafex one really isn't going to scale. So if you have other import figures and things like that, get the Mafex. You'll be very happy with it. You won't be disappointed at all. It's a really good figure. But for me, the $25 Scarlet Spider figure is definitely the way to go. Very happy with it. Okay, that's my review of the Scarlet Spider figure. Definitely doesn't disappoint for me anyway, but I think for a few of you guys it might disappoint with those butterfly joints coming forward. Overall, the figure is a huge improvement over the previous Scarlet Spider figures that we have gotten. If you didn't get either of those two, this one's a definite pickup. If you're a Ben Reilly fan, this is a pickup. Either way you look at it, it is an upgrade from the previous version that we got, and it's definitely a welcome one. The Renew Your Vows Spider-Man figure is proven to be a really good body mold, so here we have it, and it's looking really good. So you guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the Scarlet Spider figure. I think it's fantastic. I think it's amazing, sensational, all of those things. So you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. Show support for the channel. I truly appreciate it. Hit the notification bell to get notified whenever I have new videos going up. I have the whole wave to be going. I have Doc Ock coming soon from Spider-Man No Way Home. So lots of stuff to look forward to on the channel, so check him out. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.